Going live. Yay. Hello. Welcome to this live stream. Today we are talking about the fastest way to deepen your spiritual connection. I'm a little bit late. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are here now. I'm so excited. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It looks like everything is good. All the technicalities are all good. Hello, everyone joining in the chat. Yay. I feel like I need this video right now. I love that. Yes, absolutely. I think this is such a powerful conversation and such an important topic to talk about when it comes to our spiritual connection. And I've been talking about this recently. I shared about this yesterday on my Instagram page, and it's just been a message that has been coming through more and more. And I'm so excited to share more about this, but really in terms of the power of deepening our spiritual connection and how it can literally change our lives. And today I want to talk to you about 5 ways, 5 key aspects of deepening your spiritual connection in a way that is efficient, that makes it clear, in a way that, you can start to see the impact of what you do pretty much right away. So I want to share that with you today. We're going to go through the 5 things. And then at the end, I have something really special to share, a special announcement that has been brewing. And the way that it unfolded is such a magical way in terms of how, just like the downloads that came through, what the angels are guiding me into, and what this means for all of you. Yeah, we're going to talk more about it at the end, but I'm really excited. So if you're joining me live, say hello. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you are in the world. And we're going to get started right now. And if you're watching me on the recording, then let me know. Post a comment below. As a reminder, as always, if you are not subscribed to this channel, then definitely subscribe so that you do not miss any future live streams and also my weekly videos that come out. I have 2 weekly videos. One is the podcast that comes out on Wednesdays. And that is where, most of the time I'm featuring people's questions. I have a space where you can come in, ask your questions, and I'm answering, coaching, providing angelic guidance, all of that good stuff on the podcast. And then on Fridays, I release new angel videos, which have been so good and so fun. And people have really been enjoying the new Archangel videos, which, the last time I did those videos was like 6 or 7 years ago. So it was about time to do a refresh. So I'm really excited about that. And all of the angelic content that is coming your way. We're talking about guardian angels, cosmic angels, seraphim angels, earth angels, like all the things. So I can't wait. So I'm so excited to have you guys here. Yay. Hello, everyone who is joining. So awesome to catch you on a live. I know. I'm so excited, Eve. Yes. Oh my gosh. So much love and blessings to you as well. Ashley's in Pennsylvania, Toronto. Oh, that's so cool. Yes. I love it. I love it. Love it. Okay. Let's dive in because I want to share the 5 key things to deepen your spiritual connection. And before actually I get into the 5 things, I just want to talk about real quick, the power and importance of deepening our spiritual connection. Because to me, that is like the root, it is the crux, it's the foundation to everything when it comes to living in alignment with our true selves. It's the foundation to opening up to your gifts. It's the foundation to being your true authentic self in the world. It's the foundation to so many things, to creating the life that you desire. I shared more about this in my Instagram live, so go check that out if you haven't after this. But it's the foundation to so many things. And that's why I feel having this conversation on, okay, how can we deepen our connection to spirit, to the angels? How can we deepen that connection so that we can find more of our true selves, open up to our gifts, open up to the divine being that is within us, and live in alignment with that being? So let's get into it. And then as I go through this, if you have any additional things that you want to share or questions about what I talk about, please feel free to post that in the chat. And if you're watching me on the recording, you can post it in the comments below this video. So very first thing when it comes to deepening your spiritual connection. And when I say deepening your spiritual connection, I am referring to I'm referring it as like an overall, the angels, to your spirit guides, to the divine, to ascended masters, whatever divine beings that you love to work with, it's applicable. So the first thing is about having a spiritual practice, like having a practice where you are intentionally connecting, you are intentionally inviting in the angels or your spirit guides or a combination of it all to come in and be present with you and to be in that presence. Now, what I don't want you to think that is that this means that you need to even necessarily be meditating every single day, or that you need to be meditating for an hour every single day, or that you need to be doing all these things, and that it has to be this like stacked practice and that if you don't do all these things, then you're not going to deepen your connection, because it's not true. That is false. I think that our human brain and our human mind tends to think that, well, if I just do more of this, then I will have a deeper connection, right? Like the more that I do, the more I'm going to receive this. And that's actually not how it works. It's not about the doing, it's really about the being. How often can you be in connection with the divine? And so what I have learned for myself personally, my personal journey, and I've lived through many different phases of life. And right now, in this phase of life that I'm in with two little kids, it's like it honestly is not practical for me to be meditating every single day. And I don't meditate. I don't meditate for like an hour every single day. Well, I meditate a few times a week, yes, but my true daily practice is the connection and the fluidity of the practice in my everyday life. So, as an example, just this morning, I put my 1-year-old in the stroller and we went for a walk. And on the walk, sometimes I like to listen to things. I put in my AirPods, I listen to stuff. It's great. And then sometimes I actually enjoy the silence and I enjoy just being in my own energy. I connect with the divine, I connect with the angels. I just feel their presence, or I'm tuning into nature. I'm tuning into the trees, the birds, the whatever is going on around me. And I'm in a meditative walking space where, obviously I don't have my eyes closed, but it's still a connection, still a practice for me to be in tune with the divine. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about having a practice for yourself in your everyday life. It doesn't have to be the same thing every single day unless you thrive on it being the same thing every single day. This is where you get to learn more about yourself, getting to know yourself and what works for you. So maybe it's the same thing every single day, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually giving yourself permission to be fluid and to have something different each day, as long as what you know is that you are connecting, you are practicing, you are inviting in the energy of the divine to be with you. That is the most important thing. Another example is that when I first wake up in the morning, and yes, my kids are my alarm clock, I do not tend to wake up before them, is that as soon as I start to wake up or they wake me up or whatever, I take some time as much as I can to just be present with myself and my energy. And again, calling upon the energy of the divine, of the angels, of God, to surround me in that divine light and love, and to feel as though I'm like being filled with this like golden stream of light, this golden stream of energy. And that is my practice. And so finding these little moments and pockets of time when you can just simply be in that presence and that connection. The shower is another great example. Going for a walk when you first wake up in the morning. And then, of course, more structured practices, like, for example, if you have an oracle card deck like this one, for example, the Archangel Oracle that you love to use, then it's something where you can spend some time, focused, dedicated time to actually connect with the angels in that specific way, or meditating, or journaling, or listening to music. That's another way that I love to connect with the divine. I've been really into this kind of like, I go to yoga, and so they have this like, I don't know what to call it, yoga music. I was like, what genre is this? Because this is so good. And I don't even know do I search for more of this? But there's this like type of music, and I often actually put it in my stories. If you watch me on Instagram, I always like to put this type of music in because it just feels so soothing to my soul, and I feel more connected. So it's finding the ways in your everyday life. It's rather than thinking that you have to change who you are to be more connected. It's actually okay in my everyday life, how life is right now in this season of life that I'm in. How can I tweak things or add things in that will enhance what I'm already doing? So I'm already going on walks. So let me enhance that. I'm listening to music. Let me enhance that. I am having some pockets of time where I tell my husband, okay, take the kids, go to the park. Like I'm alone in the house. So let me now meditate and take some time here. So it's really about finding what works for you in your life and in your season of life and going with that. Before kids, I used to meditate every single day. Like it was like first thing in the morning, meditation, like that was my thing. And that was a very structured thing and it benefited me and it worked really well. And then it didn't work for me anymore. It just didn't. And so rather than fighting against it, and I remember when I first, when my daughter was first born, my first one, and like obviously there's a huge life shift that's happening. I remember feeling like, what was I feeling? I'm trying to think of like the right word. It's like almost like a feeling of shame or feeling like I was doing something wrong. It was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not meditating as often as I used to. I'm doing something wrong. I was making myself feel wrong about the fact that I have this newborn baby and my life has completely changed. And now I'm not meditating and now I'm doing something wrong. When it was like, no, the angels were like, no, you don't need to be doing that if that doesn't work for you in this season of life. And it's giving ourselves permission for it to be something that changes and shifts and grows as we change and shift and grow throughout our lifetime. So that's the first thing here to deepen your spiritual connection. It's noticing where you are pressuring yourself that you need to do it a certain way or that you're wrong for it not being this way. And instead, look at your life right now, look at the season of life that you're in, look at what your responsibilities are, where your time is going, and ask yourself honestly, where can I fit this in? And it doesn't have to be something that's a long drawn out thing. It's while you're in the process, while you're walking, while you're driving, while you are doing whatever, and inviting in the presence of the divine and simply being in it. That is enough. And that's one of the key messages that the divine is bringing through right now. They're like, simply being in the presence is enough. We don't need you to do all these like tricks and whatever. I mean, it's fun, it's great, it's amazing to be able to, sit down and channel write or pull some cards or do whatever. And when we have the time and space for that, do that. But when you don't beat yourself up around, oh, I didn't, get a chance to do that today. I didn't get a chance to do that practice. It's like, okay, that's okay. You didn't get a chance to do it. The divine is still here. The divine is still present with you. So let me still tune in and at the very least, just call upon the presence of the divine and feel myself surrounded in that beautiful love. And that's it. Simple as that. But having a practice, having a connection point every single day is what's going to help deepen your connection in a very quick way. Having a contact point. So think of it as like, did I have a contact point today? If not, then let me do it right now. I don't need much time. I can do it in 2 minutes, Lock yourself in the bathroom if you need to, if you have little kids or whatever. But it's like one contact point. And then if you have multiple of those throughout the day, that's even better, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. So that is the first one. That's the first one. I want to tune in with your comments right now, just see what you guys are all saying. Archangel Gabriel is one I feel a lot. Yes, I love that. Jesus and Archangel Michael are my two personal spirit guides. Oh, so beautiful. Their presence, all of those beings. I just love them so much. I actually had a dream last night. I just remembered. And I don't remember, it was like one of those things where it's a dream, but it's like very fuzzy and it's like, what was going on? But the one thing that I do remember in that dream is that it was Archangel Zadkiel. And I was like, as if from my card deck, I was trying to show my husband the Archangel Zadkiel card for some reason. And it was like, look at the Archangel Zadkiel card. Like I was trying to show him in the dream. It was so weird. And I forget, like he was like doing something, not actually like kind of paying attention, but then at the end he did, and I was like, Archangel Zadkiel. It was like an interesting dream night last night. And then I feel like there was Archangel Gabriel. I don't know. It was one of those fuzzy dreams, but that, I don't know. I just remembered that from your guys' comments here. Okay, let's see. Hi, Anissa. You're welcome. I also have 2 young kids and I use my shower time to connect. Yes, exactly. Very intentional time with myself and my guides. I play frequencies and it's so meditative and it feels so good. Yes, Eve. So totally 1,000% feel you on that. Hi, Margaret. Good to see you here. Totally relatable. I often feel like I'm doing something wrong or not saying or doing a meditation or prayer in a certain way. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. It's like our mind likes to beat ourself up so much. Like, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Like, you're not doing this enough. And it's just like, wait a second. If I just like pause and tune in, what does God have to say about this? What does the divine have to say about this? What do the angels have to say about this? And it's just like, they're like, no, like, you're enough. You're enough as you are right now. You're doing enough. You're perfect as you are. And it's just like, that is just so, it's like, it helps to bring us back. And it's like, oh, right. I am enough. What I'm doing is enough. Okay, let's see here. Hello, everyone joining in. So good to see you all here. You are amazingly healing. Aw, thank you so much. Where can I get that Oracle deck? I'll post a link in here. Let me post it right now. But it's on my website. If you go to my website, in the menu on the top, it says Archangel Oracle. And I'll just post it here. And you can just like go there. CristinaAroche.com is my website. And then Archangel Oracle is in the top menu. But there is the direct link right there in the chat. And for anyone who's watching on the replay, I will post the link to that in the description below this video. Okay. All right. So let's continue. That was the first one. So let's continue on with the next way to deepen your spiritual connection. So the next way is consistency. So it goes right along with what I just shared in terms of having a practice and tuning into what feels best for you in this season of your life. And then consistency is number 2. So being consistent with your practice. Now, notice that I don't say that you have to do it for X amount of time. So it's not like, okay, you have to do it for, an hour each day or whatever. Like, it's not about time. Time is a human 3D thing. Spirit is not. The spirit is not 3D. So spirit doesn't care about time. Spirit just cares about consistency. And even that, like, spirit cares. It's like, spirit is not going to punish you. God is not going to punish you. The angels are not going to punish you. So it's not even that. They're so incredibly lovingly patient for us to find our way. So even then, even if we're not being consistent, they're just like, we'll just be here when you're ready. We'll be here when it's time. Like, it's okay. Take your time. Take your time to figure out your consistency. But consistency is the key. So consistency meaning what is working for you. Consistency in what can you do on a daily basis. Maybe it's a quick prayer. Maybe it's what I suggested earlier, imagining, just taking a minute to imagine yourself being surrounded by divine white light, divine energy, golden energy, however you see it, however you feel it, calling upon the archangels. We'll use Archangel Michael as the example. Archangel Michael, please surround me in your love today. Guide me, show me my next steps, help me to pursue the path of my divine calling. Whatever simple prayer, which, by the way, inside of the Archangel Oracle card deck, I have suggested prayers in there for each archangel. So it's whatever feels good to you. And so consistency is the key. And the way that I always talk about this, I always relate our connection to the angels and to the divine similarly to how you would think any relationship in your life. So if you think about any of your close friends or your significant other, if you are in a relationship, or whoever, anyone that you're close with, there was a time in your life when you didn't know them. And the way that you became close is because you consistently hung out or you consistently spent time together. You consistently were in conversation with each other. And so over time, you built trust, you built familiarity, you built a relationship with your close ones in your life because of consistency. So it's the same thing with our spiritual practice. Our connection to the divine, our connection to angels are exactly like that. If we're only, meeting up with the angels once a week, well, it might that's still great, by the way. But it might not feel as close as if you were connecting with them every single day. So just imagine that difference of being in relationship with the divine, with the angels, and what feels like a good, consistent time frame for you to be with them or for you to call on their presence. Again, it's not that you have to spend an hour each day, but even just 1 minute each day, it would have a more significant impact than if you did 1 hour just one time a week, in my opinion. So, and it's also, again, whatever works for you. However, the beauty about our spiritual connection and working with divine energy is that it's always there. It's always available. It always exists around us. So we don't need anything. So let's just say, for example, maybe you went on a trip on vacation and you forgot your Archangel Oracle card deck and you're like, I forgot my deck, because that's your favorite way right now to connect. That's your practice. You use the Archangel Oracle card deck, you pull a card every day, and you forgot it. And you are now on your trip and you're like, oh, I forgot my card deck. What am I going to do? And maybe at first your mind is like, oh, now your spiritual connection, your practice, oh, too bad. Like you suck, like whatever, right? And and instead it's actually, wait a second, but spirit is always around me. God is always around me. The angels are always there. I can adjust and I can simply call in their presence, or I can, again, like I said, I keep coming back to this visualization of you being surrounded by divine light and love, and that's enough. That is enough. The key is that you're not breaking your consistency. You're adjusting and you're like, okay, I don't have my specific tool that I like to use, but it doesn't mean that I can't still connect with the angels. I still can't continue on with my spiritual practice and my deepening my spiritual connection. So it's the consistency in not breaking that consistency as much as possible. Obviously, life is life, but coming back, and then when you need to adjust because of different life circumstances, like I shared my example when I had my kids, and so then it was like, okay, this is an adjustment and it's fine, and I'm going to find a new flow. So there's always this knowing that you get to find your flow, that your consistency and what that looks like will change throughout your life, and also that spirit is very patient with us. The angels are so patient. God is so patient. Like there's no rush, and there's no punishment around what you do or don't do. It's simply just a matter of, we're here and we're ready for you whenever you're ready, kind of a thing. And then when we invite them in, they're like, okay, cool, we're here with you. So that's the second thing. Okay, consistency. Love your deck. Ah, yay. Thank you, Eve. It's so on point every time. I know. I have to say it, like I totally agree. And it's funny because, in the creation of the deck, obviously one of the things in my mind is like, oh my gosh, like, is this going to be accurate? Like how does this work? And then even when I had like a little mini, like, separate prototype type of thing. It wasn't the full complete deck, but I had like a prototype, and I would start pulling cards from that. And I was like, oh, like this actually works. It's actually, relevant, consistent, on point. Like this is awesome. And so then ever since releasing it and everyone, having it and sharing their feedback, that's the consistent thing everyone always says. Everyone's like, it is so on point every time. It's exactly the message that I needed. So it's really cool. Okay, so number 3, let's continue on with number 3. Number 3 that is important in order to deepen your spiritual connection is your belief and your trust in yourself. And I know that when it comes to especially deepening your connection to the angels, for example, or your spirit guides, I know that a common thing that people share with me, a question that they have is, am I actually receiving the message that I think that I'm receiving, or did my mind just make that up? And how do I know that that's who I'm connecting to? Like, I think that's them. I think that's Archangel Gabriel. I think that's Archangel Raphael, but I don't know. Like, there's a little part of me that doesn't trust that it gets to be so easy. There's a little part of me that's questioning whether I'm actually doing it right. And I get that. I remember when I first started my connection with the angels, it was this like experience of like, wait, that's how it is. Like, it's just, I can see their energy. I can feel them like, what? This is crazy. And this is the thing, is that as you continue to develop your connection and as you deepen into that connection, it's going to feel, I think the number one thing that trips people up is that they think it's going to be harder, or maybe there's these expectations that we have around how it's going to look, and instead it looks completely different and it feels completely different, and it kind of takes us by surprise, and we're like, wait a second, that's what it is. And the thing too that's important to understand is that everyone has their own unique way of connecting with the divine, which means that the way that I specifically perceive the angels and how they make themselves known to me isn't necessarily going to be the same way for you. Like, I can guide you in the sense of, this is the framework, this is a general idea, this is them stepping forward in this guided meditation right now. And I know that my YouTube videos have helped so many people in being able to feel their connection, being able to feel their energy there. And your perception of how they show up will still be different than how I specifically see it. Like, unless you're inside my brain and you see what I see, then we're not going to necessarily always have ever the exact same perception of how it shows up. But we can know and have the knowing of what is coming through. And that takes belief, and that takes trust. Belief that you're capable of doing it. Belief that, yes, that you are someone who gets to have this very deep and powerful spiritual connection, and trusting in what you are receiving. Now, for me, before, like, let's just say before 2016, like all the time before that, my belief was, oh, like, I can't work with energy. I can't connect with the angels. I can't talk to spirit guides. Like, that's just something special that certain people are born with, but that's not me. Like, that was my belief, that I didn't know that prior to my spiritual awakening, so it must not be me, kind of a thing. And then as I went through my spiritual awakening, as I went through my journey, as I started to deepen my spiritual connection, that belief was proven wrong. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe there actually is something here. This is something that anybody can do, that I get to do, that this is actually a natural part of who we are, because we are spiritual beings. If we are spiritual beings in human form, then of course we're going to be able to have a connection point with where we came from, with the other beings that are also spiritual beings of divine light and love. So of course we have that connection point. It's an innate part of who we are, and our existence here is to be able to tap back into where we came from, and who created us, and to be able to work in sync with that energy. So it's looking at your belief. Do you truly believe that you are capable of that, or that you're a part of that? And the answer is yes, you are. So your belief, what stories you're telling yourself, and then the other part of it is your trust. And so for me, the development of my trust, in terms of trusting in the messages that I was getting, trusting in myself to be able to channel the correct messages, meaning that it was actually coming through from the divine or from the angels, and not something that I was making up in my head. That trust was something that built over time. So that's why we need consistency. Your consistency is what's going to deepen your trust. So they're all linked together, as you can see, even having a practice, then consistency. Now we're talking about trust. Your trust is built over time, and your trust is built from consistency. So for me, the biggest thing that supported me in my journey was the fact that, when I came to the point in my journey at the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, when the angels came to me, they told me, you are here to be an angelic channel. You are an angel intuitive. You are here to share the messages from the angels, to teach about angels, like all the things, everything that I do now. Basically, they told me at the end of 2016. Beginning of 2017, I was like, okay, this is my business. This is what I'm doing. Switched from nutritionist, health coach to now spiritual teacher. Like, boom. I was in deep, like, kind of, it almost feels like they were like guiding me, like, here, this is what we're going to do now. Press this button, type this pose. Like, we're doing this. And so as I embarked on this journey as a spiritual teacher and teaching about the angels, of course, there was so much fear and doubt and things in my mind that was like who am I to be teaching about this? Like I just opened up to this and now you're expecting me to teach about this? Like what are you talking about? And so what built my trust the most was the consistency and the practice of showing up and channeling for people and realizing that the fact that I am consistently connecting with the angels, I am consistently in their energy, in their presence, getting to know them, understanding how they work, understanding who they are. And every time I channel a message, the feedback is always like, oh my gosh, I need to hear that. Oh my gosh, that's so on point. Yes, that totally resonates. Blah, 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 blah. Chills, like whatever. And so over time, and I even remember when I first started doing one-on-one sessions in 2017, I was so nervous for those sessions because I was like, what if I show up and then nothing comes? And then I'm sitting there like, that's so awkward with the client. Like, how do I know that I'm going to receive a message or that their question is going to get answered, that I'll be able to help them? Like, how do I know? And the only way that I knew and began to trust in it was because I consistently showed up. I consistently put myself out there. And over that time and through that consistency, I saw like it was shown to me. They were like, see, like you're going to receive messages. It doesn't matter if right before the session you feel like your mind is blank. That's actually a good thing. Your mind needs to be blank. You need to be blank so that we can fill you with that divine truth and whatever that other person needs. So yes, this is how it is. And so as I started continue to do it, was consistent showing up, that trust got deeper and deeper and deeper. So before it would be like, before a session, I would just like be a nervous wreck, be like, oh my God, which angels, what's happening? And now it's like, there's none of that because I just know I trust so deeply, but that trust would not have been able to be developed so deeply had I not been consistent and consistently showed up in the way that I did. Now, whether or not you are a healer or like on a journey of becoming a spiritual teacher or whatever, that's besides the point, because for you, whatever your personal journey is with your spiritual connection, the point is consistency. And the point is that you are consistently in a space where you are exposing yourself or allowing yourself to be in a receivership of information so that you can then utilize it in whatever way. And so, and a part of that too, that I think is really helpful is having community, having people around you that understand and that you can talk to, so you're not just going through it alone. So for me during that time and beyond, as I was building my own community of people, like all of you lovely people that are here, I was also in other communities with spiritual teachers, mentors, healers, connecting with people online who I could talk to and say like this, Archangel Michael, oh my gosh, I just channeled with Archangel Michael and blah, blah, blah. So having people around you that you can talk to and connect with and be in community with who get it. And I love the internet because of this, because probably most of us don't have that many people around us in person in real life that really get this spiritual work or this depth of connection. But online, you can find the right communities, you can find the people, because it doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as you have an internet connection, you can connect. So the internet is really beautiful and powerful because of that. And so I do believe that having that sense of community is a huge part in supporting your development of your trust, because then it's kind of like you're getting feedback, you're able to talk it out or share with other people. And so when we are also in that sharing space, I feel like that is an important part of the deepening of the connection. And it's something that I'm really realizing like right now too, which is the fact that regardless if you're talking to a friend, if you have a mentor, if you are just simply in an online community space where like people are talking about angels and things like that, which I have, by the way. So, you're in this community space, but it's because of the sharing. Like this is what the angels are showing me right now. It's because you're sharing that information. So if I was just receiving channel guidance and just like keeping it to myself, that's not the same as me receiving information, but then sharing it in some form. And obviously with the work that I do, I share a lot of it online, like publicly with many people. However, it doesn't have to be like that for you, but in a space of sharing. Sharing is what moves energy. Sharing is what grounds the energy, and sharing is what helps in that process as the energy is moving and grounding. That is contributing to a deeper level of trust in yourself and a deeper level of belief of like, oh wow, I can actually do this. So that is part of the reason why, what this is what they're saying right now. Archangel Gabriel, okay. That they're saying that's part of the reason why, reflecting on my journey as I was just sharing my story of at the beginning when I would be in sessions and be like, oh my God, I don't know. But then being in a space where I was sharing with someone because I was in a session with them and they were asking me for guidance and support, but being in a space where I was able to express it is a contributing factor to the deepening rather than if I just like held it to myself. So that's the part of it. There. I wasn't planning on saying that, but that's what the angels want you to know today. That's an important part of developing your belief and trust. And as you develop your belief and trust, that is going to be a huge part of deepening your spiritual connection. The other thing, for me personally, another story that I'll share is anytime I've been led or guided to do something or to share something or to show up in a certain way or to, whatever, do whatever. And following through with that guidance, even if it felt a little bit scary, but in my heart, I knew it was right. So as long as it felt right to me and I knew like, yeah, that's the thing, following through with the guidance is another aspect of deepening your trust and deepening your belief. And I truly believe that trust, like the deepening of trust, you can only journal so much of like, I trust myself, I trust myself, I trust myself, or whatever, affirmations, mantras. There's only so much that you can do. The real building of trust happens in a practical way in the real world, so to speak. So, like I was just sharing, being in a community, being in a space where you are talking to other people and allowing that energy to move and be expressed. And then the other part is taking action. So whatever guidance comes through and you're actually moving forward with it and doing the thing and doing what is being asked of you or where you're being led and then following through with it is a trust builder as well. So trust, like anytime, and I've thought this so many times, like, how do you actually deepen your trust? Like, what is trust? Like, how do you actually deepen into trust? And it really is those two things. It's a practical thing. It's a real world application. That's how you build trust. So the more that you put yourself out there, the more that you open yourself up to the receivership of the energy, of the guidance, of the connection, sharing it in whatever way, and then also moving with whatever guidance comes through. Those are the two key things. Okay. So that is number 3. All right. Let's see. Okay. I feel like the more time we spend with ourselves and being intentional, we develop this sense of awareness with ourselves and the divine. I've had many mystical moments when tuning in. Yes, Eve, absolutely. That I'm gonna come back to that. You hit on a really important point. I'm gonna come back to that. So grateful for your angelic journey. It is so beautiful and helpful for the collective. Oh, thank you. I needed to hear this about sharing. I have held back many times, feeling like peeps won't get it or it's too woo-woo for it. Yeah, I know. I absolutely get that. And that's why, and not everyone is going to get it, and that's okay. Like that's just the reality. I've met so many people along my journey where it's like, they're like what, but the right people will always, even if they don't fully get it, they'll be in awe of whatever it is, even if they don't understand it, or they'll just have this knowing, the sense of like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like that's awesome, even though I don't fully understand it. But so it's the expression without the expectation of people to understand. And then of course there's also the side of it where, in my example, in my journey, being in a business sense, it's like, well, I'm going to share this because this is my work. And, especially being on YouTube, like there's so many people who have commented on my videos over the years are like, you're doing this wrong and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yeah, okay, it's fine. Like you don't resonate with what I share. You don't understand, and that's fine. But like, this is what's coming through and I'm going to share it and you can't stop me because the divine has a plan and I meant to fulfill it, kind of a thing. So Yeah. Okay, let's talk about number 4. So number 4 is your vibration, your vibrational energy, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this talk before, in the spiritual world, in the energy world, as like our vibration, our vibrational energy. And I think that this is such an important conversation because I feel like there's often a misconception, and sometimes I kind of like get myself in that space too, where I I have to like remind myself of this, that our emotional energy, our emotional state, so emotional energy is different than our vibrational energy. So your emotional energy, and what I mean by that is sometimes, like raise your hand if you've ever felt like maybe you're, wanting to create something or manifest something or whatever, but then you're getting frustrated or something's going on or you get triggered or you're angry and then you feel like, oh my gosh, like I shouldn't feel this way because now my vibration is lower. And if my vibration is lower, then I can't manifest and I won't be high vibe and blah, blah, blah. And then we have this like sense of, I have to be high vibe in order to manifest, or I have to be high vibe in order to be able to do this thing or to be successful or whatever the case is, right? And there definitely is a difference between our emotional energy and our vibrational energy, because emotional energy is constantly changing because we're human. We're human and we are emotional. Like that's just the fact. We're human. We're going to experience the full range from grief, fear, anxiety, frustration, all the way up to joy, love, like peace, freedom, like all those things, right? So there's this huge spectrum of emotions that we are constantly like navigating through, bouncing up and down from, like we're going through these experiences and we can't necessarily predict how we're going to be. Like we can't just be like monotone, just like I'm just going to be neutral today. Like no, we have the full range. And if you have toddlers or have had toddlers, you know that they are very much on the full emotional thing. Like they will go from happy to upset in a split of a second if you didn't do something exactly the right way. So, like it's part of our human nature, right? So emotional energy is our natural experience and it's a natural part of being human. Our vibrational energy is different. Our vibrational energy is affected by things like the things that we are constantly consuming. And when I say consuming, I mean it in all the ways, like consuming, like eating wise or drinking wise, but also consuming in what are you allowing into like your consciousness? Like, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you talking to? Like that is going to be the things that affect your vibrational energy. So if you're constantly exposing yourself to like, fear-based like movies and the news and this and that, and like all these things that are constantly going on in your head, like through your in your eyes, like if you're watching TV, your ears, listening to whatever, and maybe surrounding yourself by people who are just constantly in this like negative, like, oh my gosh, like blah, 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 the world is doomed, like whatever kind of a thing, then that's going to affect your vibrational energy. Even if you are super happy that day, your vibrational energy is going to be at a lower space because of what you're consuming. So, that's where we have to pay attention to what we are consuming and what is affecting our vibration in that way. So what are you listening to? What are you watching? Who are the people that you're surrounding yourself with, and what are you speaking out loud? That is what is more important to pay attention to when it comes to your spiritual connection and being able to, and this is really mostly the effect of it affects. Here's what I also want to clear up, because even if someone is in a state where they are quote unquote in a lower vibrational energy because they're surrounded by all these different things, A, doesn't mean that they can't change. They absolutely can. And B, it doesn't mean that they still can't connect with the angels or God or the divine. It's just that it might be more of like a one way, like I'm praying to the divine, I am asking for support and asking for signs, but it might be harder for me to receive, like hear something in return, simply because of where the vibrational energy is at. However, for that person, if they start to clean up what they are consuming instead of watching the stuff that like creates fear and anxiety all the time, like watching movies and shows and news and whatever that does that. Instead, they start to read the books and start to listen to podcasts and whatever, like, shifting in that way, their vibration is going to increase. And that then, as their vibrational energy starts to shift, that is then when they will start to feel a shift in terms of their receiving. As your vibration raises, your channel starts to open up. That's why when you deepen your spiritual connection, you begin to open up to your gifts and you begin to open up to your abilities. That is why I can see now in hindsight why, as I started to deepen my spiritual connection, that's when the existence of the knowing of my gifts and my ability to connect with angels, my ability to channel them and do all the things, do energy healing, all that came to light, because it was like, oh, I wasn't in a vibrational space to be able to receive that or be in alignment with that or connection with that before. But as I developed my spiritual connection, that naturally just opened up. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, your spiritual connection is going to change your life, because not only is it going to show you, directly lead you to your purpose and directly lead you to who you truly are, but it's also going to directly lead you to your gifts, to your power, to your abilities, to your potential. It's like a direct hotline to those things. So your vibrational energy is a factor in this. It's important to pay attention to what you are consuming. And, I think that a lot of people who are here in this community who are watching this video are most likely empaths or sensitive to energy. Like, raise your hand if that's you. I'm raising my hand. And so it goes back to one of the comments here about what Eve said. I feel like the more time we spend with ourselves and being intentional, we develop a sense of awareness within ourselves. And that's such a huge thing, because it's so true. The more that I have become more self-aware, the more I can immediately feel like it immediately comes through now. Whereas before, maybe I wouldn't have paid attention. I wouldn't have really noticed. But now it's like I can tell right away when something is like, no, I don't want to watch that show, right? Like, we, on the weekends, it's like, okay, Netflix, what do we want to watch? What's the next show to watch? What's the next movie to watch? Whatever. And there have been times when it was like, I can't watch that. Like, I wish I could watch it. There was one show in particular, I forget what it's called now. And it wasn't anything like crazy. It was just, this guy who was like I think CIA agent and whatever. It wasn't like anything extremely violent, but for some reason we started watching that show and I would have like really weird, crazy dreams. Like dreams where I woke up and I was like, what? Like, that was, ugh. And it happened a couple times and I was just like, told my husband, I was like, I don't think we can watch this show. Like, there's nothing wrong with the show and I'm interested, but it's really affecting me energetically. Like, my dreams are really weird and I don't like this. So we stopped watching that show and then I stopped having those weird dreams. And so it's really interesting how, and things will affect us in that way. And who knows the reason why. Like, the show itself wasn't like I said, anything crazy, but whatever energy is around that, the production, the energy of the show, like, everything has its own energy. And so as empaths and people who are sensitive to energy, it is our responsibility to, when we recognize something like this or notice like this isn't working for me, like, I'm self-aware and my energy feels off right now, I got to cut this out. Like, I can't keep going and doing this. And so it's noticing what affects you energetically. The foods you eat also will affect you energetically. What everything that we expose ourselves to and what we consume in all the ways in our mouths, but also our eyes and our ears all affect us. And it's important to recognize that. So, and that is what's going to be very influential in terms of your vibrational energy. And then as your vibrational energy shifts, that's what's going to open you up to being able to be more in tune and connect with the angels, for example. The other thing that's going to support your vibrational energy, again, it's like I'm releasing and letting go of the things that are that I'm consuming that do not support my vibrational energy, and instead I'm filling it back in with the things that do. So again, what you're listening to, podcasts, YouTube videos, right? Like maybe one of my YouTube videos or whatever, books that you're reading. And then, overall, that spiritual connection with the angels, like the more that we are calling on the angelic presence, and this again leads back to the beginning where I talked about the other ones, our practice and our consistency, the more that we are calling in the energy of the angels and surrounding ourselves with angelic energy, for example, that's going to influence our vibrational energy too. So it all matters. It all matters. So that's number 4. Number 4. Okay. Let me see here. Yep, empath saying my husband loves crime thrillers and horror, and I used to have crazy dreams too. We stopped watching the stuff. Yeah. It's like you can. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and like I think it was like during COVID probably or whatever. Like I watched the Narcos series on Netflix. I was just like so interested. That is one of the things, like those like drug crime things, like I don't know why, like something about them that draws me in. Like the other one that was really good, Griselda, I think it was called. So anyways, like I will watch those things, but then I had weird dreams after that, and I was like, I really we're not gonna watch this anymore because those are few and far between. But I will watch Narcos every once in a while. Not recently, but like before I would watch it every once in a while. Because it's just like, but there's you have to pay attention to what comes up, especially in dreams. And they will tell you like this is affecting your vibrational energy. So yeah. Okay. Last one, number 5, is your connection to self. So again, we kind of already hit on this before, but your connection to yourself, and I would even extend that up to your connection to the divine. I truly do believe that, in the connection to ourselves, so being aware of your own self, your energy, your body, your spirit, your soul is incredibly important. And also, likewise, whatever you perceive as your connection to that greater divine energy. So whether you call it God or source or the divine or the universe or the creator or whatever other name you might have for that essence, like the thinking about the essence of where we come from, where we came from, where our soul was created, that relationship is also incredibly powerful. And I do believe that there's these multiple spiritual relationships that we get to have. The relationship within our own self, the relationship with the creator, right? Source, God, whatever. And then there's also the relationship with the angels and with the other divine beings that are here with us. So I kind of see it as this like big umbrella, how it's like this big umbrella, that source energy surrounds all of us. And then we have the relationship with our own self to know our true self. And then we also have the relationship with the divine beings that surround us that are here to support us as we walk along our journey. And so one of the things that I always teach, and I talk about this inside of my angelic healer program, where you know, it's so important for us to never lose sight of the connection to our own self. Because if you're having a hard time connecting with the angels, for example, or connecting with your spirit guides, if that feels fuzzy, if that feels like I don't know, I'm not feeling a deep connection, then I'm always like return back to your connection, because your connection to your own self, to your soul, to the divine, it starts here. It starts with you. So if you're not embodied and connected with your higher self or your soul, your spiritual being, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to feel the connection with the angels. So in that sense, when it feels like you're going out there and you're like, I'm trying to connect with the angels, but it feels hard and I don't know and whatever, this is where you come back to you. You always come back to your own self. You always come back to your truth, your higher self, your connection with the divine, with that source energy. Align yourself back to that, and then the connection with the divine beings is going to be much smoother, much clearer. We can't have a connection outward this way if this connection within ourselves is not clear first. And that's important to remember. So, another part of this, number 5, to deepen your spiritual connection is to look at your connection with your own self. Now, one of the most beautiful, impactful ways that I have found with this is literally opening up, and I experienced this in like a hardcore way, so to speak, uh, several years ago now. It was like 2000, end of 2018, beginning of 2019, I think is when it was. And um I feel like there was a moment during that time of my journey where I lost a little bit of myself, where I kind of got caught up in like, with other people and different things. And I felt like I had lost a part of myself. Like it was kind of like almost this like disconnection point. And I remember in that time, the guidance was just like, come back to yourself, come back to yourself, come back to yourself. And so what I did every single day, my practice was I tuned in and I felt as though my like crown chakra opened up. I would open up my crown chakra and I would connect to source energy. I would connect to God, with the divine, and I would just ask to be filled up with that source energy, with that divine light. And I would just be like coming through. And in that process, the intention was, I'm coming back to myself. I'm coming back to my true self, to my higher self, my soul, whatever terms resonate with you. But I'm coming back to myself. And so it literally felt as though my crown chakra is open. I'm being filled with this divine light. The divine light is coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, filling me up. And now, okay, I'm filled. And in the filling up, I'm with my higher self now. I'm with my soul. I'm with who I truly am. Okay, cool. And then I did that over and over and over again, like every single day. Every single day, I kept doing that, doing that, doing that, doing that. And I finally felt like I like emerged out of this like stuckness and this disconnection and this feeling of just like, ugh, like I don't know the words to describe it. It just felt like this. I had to release some friendships. I had to release some things in my life where it was just like, this is really not serving me. Like, this is not good for me. And so that like really brought me back to my truth, my own self. And from there, I recognized in that moment how important it was. Like, it's not just about, well, I'm connected to the angels, so like whatever, because throughout that whole time I still was. And I could feel their presence, but I had lost a part of myself. And so that's why I still felt stuck and lost and disconnected, because that essential part was not there. And that's why I say to you, if you feel like you're disconnected or lost or whatever, and you're trying to go out here to the divine beings and to your divine team to like find something, that's when they'll be like, no, we're not like, we don't have anything that you're looking for. What you're looking for is inside of you. And what you're looking for is in your relationship with the divine, like your creator. So you got to go back to that. We're here to support you and we love you and we'll guide you back to yourself, but we don't have it. They're like, I don't have the answer. Like, I know you're trying to find something over here, but I don't have it. It's inside of you. And so when you come back to your own self and you come back to that space and you come back to your truth, that is where you're also going to recognize this deepening of your spiritual connection. And that is the key. Anytime you try to go out there, externally, and I know like you're not even going externally, like to other people, externally to the beings, but even then they're like, no, go to you. You have it. It's inside of you. And we're here to support you. So the way that I view that relationship is that, there's that relationship between me and the divine, me and my creator. That is where it's like, this is my truth. This is my purpose. This is who I am. That's where that comes from. And then with the angels and with our spirit guides and with divine beings around us, they support us with the, how we show up. What's the next step? Moving things into place. Like this, they're like part of our team, right? Like we're doing this as a team, but the leader of the team is just between me and the divine. Like that relationship is what's leading the team. And then they're guiding and supporting and like, hey, this is what you need to know. This is what you need to do here. Let's do energy healing to support you, whatever. And then that guides us and leads us into the next step. So I hope that makes sense. So those are the 5 ways to deepen your spiritual connection. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments or below if you're watching me on the recording. Let me know which of these resonated most with you and which of these are you going to implement like today or which ones are you already implementing, and then maybe the one that you haven't been and it's like, oh, I got to come back to that, or which one was a reminder for you to come back to it. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you in the chat, in the comments below. And the last thing that I want to share, I'm going to read the comments real quick. And then the last thing that I want to share is something really special that I've created that I'm so excited to invite you into to support you in deepening your spiritual connection. It's all related, it's all connected to us and our spiritual journey and how we continue to move forward in alignment with our true selves, in alignment with the divine, in alignment with angels and our spirit guides to lead our journey. Okay. Let's see here. Yes, we always have to return to ourselves. We tend to look outside, but inside is where the gold is at. Yes, absolutely. Consistency works because you're serious. It'll show up consistently. Yes, exactly. Yes, I love that. That's such a great point, Margaret. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, my special invitation, continue to type in the chat for those of you who are watching live. Oh, okay. There's more comments coming through right now. Consistent. No, I read that already. They all resonate so much. I have a deep spiritual practice and do practice all of these things. Yay. I love it. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that you were here live. The more I learn about them, the more signs I see. Yes, absolutely. And it's so like it's one of those things where it feels like a snowball effect, where it's like it just adds and adds and adds and adds and adds. And I feel like that's kind of how the spiritual journey is and our spiritual connection. It's like a snowball effect. It's like the more you learn, the more that you see it show up, the more that you develop, the more that you grow, the more that you heal, the more that you do all the things. And it just like continues and it's a snowball effect. And it's like rolling down the hill and just like takes you with it. Like, and that's why your spiritual connection will change your life. Like it comes back to that. If you want your life to change, if there's something in your life that you're like, I need this to change, like I want this to change, then developing your spiritual connection is going to be one of the best ways to support your life changes and who you desire to become, like hands down. So having said that, developing your spiritual connection and deepening your spiritual connection, I'm so excited to invite you into what is called the Angels Guild. The doors are officially open. This is a membership community space where we are coming together to support you in deepening your spiritual connection and specifically to the angels. And so for anyone who is on this journey, you're curious about the angels, you want to know more about how the different angelic realms are here to support you in your life, you are wanting to develop your skills and your gifts and your abilities. Maybe you're a healer and you're wanting to sharpen your skills, sharpen your abilities, get better at what you're doing, or maybe incorporate angelic energy into the work that you already are doing. A lot of people who come to me and who I work with are Reiki practitioners or, practice in other energy healing modalities. And so adding the angelic realms and the angelic energy into the practice that you already do is incredibly powerful. And so I'm really excited to share about the Angels Guild. This is, like I said, a community space. And essentially what we are doing is we are focusing on a specific angelic theme or angelic topic every single month. And throughout that month, we are going to be focusing on that theme. So for example, guardian angels is what we're going to be doing in May. So we're focusing on guardian angels. Everything, like every question under the sun that you can think of about guardian angels is going to get answered during the month of May. There's going to be what's it called? Channeled meditative journeys that you're going to receive to support you with deepening your connection to your guardian angels. There's going to be monthly live Q&A sessions, meaning that I'm going to be coming on and sharing channeled guidance and messages for you with regards to, anything related to your journey, but also specifically to guardian angels and supporting you in your connection, whether you need validation and you're like, wait, like this is what came through for me? Is this the thing? Again, what I was speaking to earlier about our community and being in community with people and being able to share and be able to have these conversations with others who get it, and to say like, yes, that's the thing, or no, like this is what they're saying, or this is where you can tweak it, or this is where whatever. And so this is a space where we come together as a community to support that spiritual connection and the deepening of that spiritual connection. So we're going to be talking about guardian angels, like throughout guardian angels, cosmic angels, the archangels, of course, Herschel angels, seraphim angels, like just anything that you can think of related to angels, healing with angels, communicating with earth angels. Like there's so much to talk about when it comes to the angelic energy and the angelic realms. And so this is the space for you to come in and learn, to grow, to deepen your connection. And in that process, the natural evolution that happens is that you are deepening not just in your spiritual connection, but in your true self. You are discovering who you truly are. You're recognizing your gifts. You're deepening your abilities and getting better at channeling, getting better at connecting, getting better at recognizing who's who. This is a seraphim angel. This is my guardian angel. This is the archangel. This is Herschel angels. And you're learning how to work with each of the different realms to support you in your everyday life. So the Angels Guild is officially open. We are starting May 1st. So May 1st is going to be the first live training about guardian angels. And there's a whole schedule. So every month you're going to get a schedule. Every month is going to be live calls. And if you can't make it to the live calls, everything is recorded. Everything you can watch at your own convenience. And it's a membership, and it's in a membership way, meaning that you can sign up for monthly and just come and hang out for however long you want to, or you can sign up for the year. And so when you sign up monthly, you can lock in, actually both, you can lock in the founder's price right now. So regardless if you do monthly or yearly, you're going to lock in a founder's price, which is $49 a month or $4.99 for the year. If you sign up for the year, you are also going to receive a free gift. You're going to receive the Archangel Oracle card deck for free when you sign up for the year. And you also get to lock in the price. So the price is going to go up May 15th. Lock it in right now, and you'll forever be at the $49 or $4.99 price. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's what I have to share with you. So I'm going to leave the link for you in the chat as well, and also in the description below this video. So for anyone who's watching this right now, you want to come join me inside of the Angels Guild, I highly suggest you come on in and come and join me for the May 1st training and be part of, like, it's almost like I feel like I'm cutting, like, those ribbons when something like opens and you're like, yes, I'm cutting the ribbon, like we're here. So that's what's happening. And so aside from the actual teaching and the practices and the guided healings and the channelings and being able to receive personal guidance every single month, this is also a space of community. So this is hosted on Mighty Network. So we're outside of social media. You don't need Facebook or Instagram or any other account. You just gotta come join us inside of Mighty Networks. And I love that platform so much. It's such a beautiful community space. And this is a place where you get to interact with each other and support one another. And my intention with the Angels Guild, is that in the feed, it's like every day people are sharing, like, this is what came up for me, or this is what I want to discuss. And for me too, it's kind of like I thrive on, receiving like feedback or questions from people, and then being able to show up and deliver on what you want to know most. So I'm definitely adjusting and tweaking things all the time in response to what people are wanting. So if you come into the space and you request, this type of conversation, or this topic, or this whatever kind of a thing, I'm ready to deliver. I'm like, yeah, that's what people need. That's what people want. Let's do it. So that is also part of like the benefit of being in such a close knit community, and in part of this membership space, is that you get to tweak it and form it to be something that is beneficial to everybody, including yourself. And there's something else that I wanted to say, but I forget now. whatever, it'll come to me. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I guess the last thing that I'll just share is that, my other intention and vision with the Angels Guild is that it truly is, it's not just like a course that you sign up for. It's a community, but also it's understanding that you are joining forces with other light workers and other spiritual seekers and people who have the same vision, that our spiritual connection and our spiritual journey is really what's going to heal this planet. Like, that's just the end of it. I truly believe that. I truly believe that it's in our spiritual growth, in our spiritual connection, the collective evolution of consciousness is what's going to heal the planet. And so coming together in this way to deepen our spiritual connection and to pursue this path of enlightenment, to pursue this path of knowing who we truly are and living in our true authentic selves is going to be one of the most powerful moves that we make. So that's the other kind of like mission and movement behind the Angels Guild. So I cannot wait to have you join me. I cannot wait to see you in there. If you are joining me, let me know so I can celebrate with you. The link is in the chat and it will also be inside of the description below this video if you're watching me on the recording. So that is it for today. Yay, my whole life has changed with my spiritual journey. Yes, I love that. 1,000%. I totally agree. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Gratitude and love and blessings to all of you as well. Thank you all for being here, for showing up, for joining me today. This is such a fun experience. The link for the Angels Guild is in the chat. Come join me. We start May 1st. I cannot wait. So thank you all for being here. This was so much fun. I always love our YouTube live streams. And that is it for today. So I will see you tomorrow for the next Archangel video that's coming out, which I don't remember which one it is. Maybe it's Archangel Raguel. I think that might be who's coming out tomorrow, but I'm not sure. So it's a mystery. We'll find out tomorrow. So subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss all the weekly videos that drop every single week. So I love you all so much. I'm sending you so much love and angel blessings, and I will see you soon. Bye.